This week's episode of The Sit Down is brought to you by Virtuos Boxing. Comfort, performance, and style. Now you could have all three in one Italian-made athletic and streetwear shoe from Virtuos Boxing. Founded by former Italian professional boxer and now coach Donato Di Martise, Virtuos Boxing is fast becoming an authority in the boxing, apparel, and fashion industries. With Donato's experience for understanding that there's no substitute for superior quality, he created Virtuos brand of authentic, durable footwear and apparel for both men and women. Virtuos Boxing has several styles of high top and low top shoes that can be seen worn by pros like Paulie Malignaggi, Jake and Logan Paul, Amy Andrew, Dylan White, Paige Van Zandt, and Ermal Hadribai, to name a few. Or you might find Virtuos Boxing shoes and their iconic duffel bag inspired by Speed Bag found on the fashion-forward streets of Miami, New York, London, or Milan. You could purchase Virtuos Boxing apparel online at virtuosboxing.com. That's Virtuos spelled Virtuos. Fight, resist, and win with Virtuos Boxing. Now, let's get into this week's episode of The Sit Down. What's going on, everyone? Nico here with the Wooden Spoon, and we have another episode of The Sit Down, and I'm joined by a very special guest. This year's 197 NCAA wrestling champion, wrestled at the Olympic trials, and has an impressive 665 deadlift. We got AJ Ferrari on the podcast today. What's going on, man?
What's going on? How's everybody doing? Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. I mean, especially like just now, you're coming off quite a busy stretch of a couple months, man.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so tell me about like the last couple months, especially, or actually, no, not even that, just leading up to these last couple months. Because for those of you that are listening that don't know, AJ just wrestled at the hardest college tournament that you could ever wrestle in the NCAA championships, won it as the 4 seed, and then 2-3 weeks later wrestled at the Olympic trials.
Right. Up 15 pounds too.
Up 15 pounds, yeah.
That was kind of rough. It was kind of hard. It's kind of stupid the way they do it now, where they used to give about a month between the NCAAs and Olympic trials. Because for me, the weight classes are so different because there's only 5 Olympic weight classes,
Yep.
So that's been kind of rough. But going into the NCAAs this year and the Big 12s this whole year, it's been like, I've been working for this since I was 4 years old. It's just awesome. Going back to who I am, I was raised in an Italian American community and home. Like since I was 4 years old, my dad used to have my older cousins beat me up, like just to make me into the man I am today, the mentally tough individual I am. And my mom's stay-at-home mom. She makes the best Italian food in the whole world. So yeah, she takes care of me. I'm definitely a mama's boy, but
aren't we all, man?
Yeah. But we got pictures of the Godfather and like famous mob bosses all over the house, just to, like, be strong and like who we are, where we came from, like pictures of like famous like athletes, like NBA, MLB athletes, baseball players, boxers, Rocky Marciano, you name it. Yeah.
So, I know you can't see it right now, but I got for last year for my birthday, the best birthday present I ever got. I'll put a picture of it when I edit the podcast, but it's a picture of an autographed picture of James Gandolfini from The Sopranos. So
really,
yeah,
that's awesome. That sounds pretty cool.
One of the best birthday gifts ever. Yeah. So I mean, it sounds like you're from Texas, right?
So yeah, I was born in Plano.
Okay.
And yeah. So and then we moved to Plano. We lived in Plano for quite a while. And then for wrestling and for athletic purposes and for school, we moved to Allen.
All right.
So
yeah, so what's the Italian communities out like in Texas?
In Texas, it's great. I mean, it's from where it's actually not great. I say that it's great just because I have over 50 family members within 10-mile radius growing up.
Oh wow!
So we had huge, like, I mean, remember, I'm one of 5. My dad's sister has 6 kids. My dad's brother has 4 kids. My mom's brother has 3 kids. So it's like we just come from a huge Italian American family. So we have crazy family functions. Growing up as a kid, I'd always be there watching my uncles play bocce ball. They'd be busting balls, they'd be saying stuff. But people don't get it though. Like there's a big rule, you can bust balls and say stuff like while it's like in the family. But anytime you go outside in public, where people are there, you never do that. It's like a forbidden thing. People don't get that unless you're really Italian. They don't understand that, like how much family is like everything, like literally everything.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, how do you think that transfers to like, because I mean, there's a lot of like Italians that have like had success, whether it's in athletics or in business. What do you think it's you think part of that is like the mindset growing up, like the support system? Like where does that come from for you and your family?
all I know is that I know a lot of Italian Americans just getting here. We had rough upbringings. We had to go through some tough times, to get here and to, work our way up. The big thing that my dad and my grandfather always tell me is like, we always do better than the generation before us. I was talking to my grandfather about this. 3 generations ago, my grandfather had moved out at 12 years old. He had to move out to be able to provide for his family.
Hmm.
And so for me, it's just being grateful for the sacrifices that my ancestors have made. And every generation does better than the one before because of the opportunities we have. I
Absolutely.
have more opportunities than my dad had. My dad was super athletic. He's 6'1". He has a 6'10" wingspan. He can naturally dunk. He's just athletic in
Hmm.
all realms. He never got to have a chance to do sports because his parents wouldn't let him. They wanted him doing academics.
Yeah.
So that was just my parents pushed me towards both. So I have the opportunity to, show off my athletic abilities and my academic abilities,
Hmm.
both on and off the mat. So for me, it's just been a blessing to have that. And I'm just so grateful for them making those sacrifices for me, to be able to live the life that I live. And, for me now, it's me making the sacrifices to make as much money as possible so that I can help the generations after me. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
That's awesome, man. That's a great little story. Yeah, so I take it your dad's the one who got you initially started in pretty much all the sports that you do now.
right, right. So
Yeah.
originally we did jujitsu whenever I was 4, but as a kid, jiu-jitsu is like very like technical and not really like as much attacking. So we did wrestling and we just fell in love with it. Me and my dad fell in love with the grind of just drilling moves
Mhm.
over and over and over again. And so it just got to the point where like, man, we love doing this. And my dad, he originally put me in it to be able to defend myself, be
Mhm.
able to defend my family. Italian Americans, we have very strong figures, like very strong masculine males and very good solid wives, as it says in the Bible, Proverbs 32, that very good old school wife that like stays home, is a keeper of the house, like really makes the best food, she
Yeah.
super nice to people, she's very sweet, that's just the definition of my mom. All my aunts, all my grandmothers, they're all stay-at-home moms. That's all they do. So
Mhm.
we're very old school in that, and that's very hard to find nowadays. Nowadays people get out in the workforce and they don't really have those old school values. But for me, it's what makes my family so strong.
Mhm.
We have zero divorces, we have zero issues. Like it just makes us that strong as a community, as a family. And people don't really get that nowadays because they're very selfish. I feel like people care about money, they care about other things, but at times, we care about love for each other. We care
Yeah.
about hard work. We value hard work. That's our big thing.
I know
Hard
there's
work.
a saying in my family. It goes it's like the priority list. So it goes God, family, then everything else after.
Right. 100%. That's exactly how it is. For me, it's God, family, wrestling. That's
Yeah.
been my
Absolutely,
motto.
man.
Yeah.
And it's
But
paid, dude. It's paid off. A freaking true freshman winning the NCAA's at 197. That's something. That's something
yeah,
that doesn't come.
we're the first ever, I believe, to do as a true freshman 197. Yeah.
That's insane because like following in the likes of who's like some of the past champions. Like you got Kyle Snyder who won it at that weight class. So it's like you're
Bo
following.
Nickel, a
Oh, no.
senior. I mean, you got to remember, like, the biggest thing at 197 that makes it so hard is like at 125, if you win as a freshman, it's still great. But you're wrestling kids. Dude, the dude that I beat in the semis is going to the Olympics, Miles Mean. That dude's ranked third in the frigging world right now. That dude's
Hmm.
going to the Olympics. He's going to the Olympics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I completely shut him down. He's Italian as well, by the way.
I was gonna
Miles.
say, yeah, you wrestled him in the semis, and then you had Nino Bonacorsi in the finals. It was
Yeah.
like the Italians are taking over 197 this year.
Yeah. Oh, there's been a lot of them. There's actually a lot of 197, a lot of Italians. So,
Yeah.
but
What's your
yeah,
Yeah, not to interrupt, but what's your mindset going into that semis match, going against like you coming as the 4 seed in the
right.
biggest tournament that you've wrestled in thus
Yeah.
far in your career? Then, so what's that well, at least collegiately, but what's that mindset going in?
Yeah, well, going in, I mean, this dude hasn't lost in, I think, 2 years, bro. This dude
Mhm.
hasn't lost in like 2 years, bro. This dude's going to the Olympics. I mean, he's a bad dude. But for me, it's like, man, I sat back in the room and like, all right. So first, before my matches, before my matches, probably about 30 minutes an hour, I get a little nervous because I'm like, wow, there's a lot at stake, which is normal. If I don't get nervous, I don't compete good,
Mhm.
because like I'm a very I'm a very hands-eye see things. Like if I see things, I picture things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the back and I got a little nervous and I was like, what are you nervous for? I start playing music and just relaxing. I was like, I've made so many sacrifices to get to this point. You know, I've sacrificed my life. My parents have sacrificed their lives. They've taken years off their life, driving 20 hours straight to bring me to camps. You know, this is mine. There's no way this dude outworked me. I know that. And you can't say that unless you really know that. And I know that. I've gone to deep waters every day in the room. I'd push myself past barriers that people don't even understand. Like, I'm talking about like me getting like doing takedowns and drilling to the point of exhaustion and then drilling 10 more on top of that, like past exhaustion. I was like, dude, before matches, I'm like, don't let this dude steal this. You know, he didn't make the sacrifices I made, you know, he didn't do this. And so I go out there and I piss myself off. And this is how I get angry. People are like, how do you wrestle so angry, wrestle so violent? How do you focus so much? I'm like, picture someone stealing all the sacrifices that you've made. You've been putting money in a bank. And picture someone stealing all the money they've been putting in every day. You've been dedicating your life. Like I dedicate everything. I dedicate my whole life to this. My parents dedicate their lives. My dad's involved with my workout routine, just keeping me explosive. We've dedicated so much to this since I was 4 years old too.
Mm-hmm.
So for such a long time. And I back everybody. I back Italian Americans. I back my school. I back people who Christians. You know, I have just so much to gain, and let's just go out there and have fun and kick this dude's butt. You know, I was made for this. And genetically, God made me for this too, just because of my genetics. Like I'm 6 foot and I have a 6'6.5" wingspan. I have very, very broad shoulders and extremely long arms for my height. So that helps a lot, you know? So I'm like, you know, God made me to do this. You know, my ancestors were probably, you know, the gladiators, you know, in the Colosseum.
Roman soldiers kicking some ass.
Right. So like, it's like, you know, just use my God-given ability to the best of my abilities and let's do it. And I just did it. I took them out. I completely shut them out. So yeah.
That's awesome. And then take it to the next match. The next match, you're wrestling for a true freshman to win the NCAA tournament. Like, what's that like compared to the semis? Because that's got to be just...
Well, there's a lot more pressure, obviously, because the NCAA finals. But for me, it's like, this is what I dream for. Like, I'm behind. Well, I don't know if you know this. This is how awesome OSU is. Why I love OSU so much is that my coaches are Italian. My head coach is the greatest American wrestler ever, 6-time world and Olympic champion. He's in the Italian American Hall of Fame, just so you know.
Is he really? I did not know that.
Yeah, his mom's 100% Italian, bro. His mom.
Oh, shout out to John Smith. That's awesome.
Yep. So so I always idolized him, and that was a big thing in my recruiting too. Why I ended up going to OSU, just because I idolized him. And Chris Perry is his nephew. He's 25% Italian. He's the assistant coach, and that's the dude that pushes me every day too. So it's just great to have that. We have both that similar DNA, just coming from hard upbringings, and just our will to win, and our willingness to go into deep waters and thrive in them. Like people don't understand that. They think like, they look at me and they're like, oh, you're this physical specimen. You bench 400 pounds, you deadlift 665, you squat 600 pounds. But that's not what makes me the best. What makes me the best is my mental ability to go through mentally tough times and pursuing them, you know, and really be perseverant, you know. And I drill that every day in the room. Like I'm going to deep waters every day. I'm pushing myself past exhaustion. And
yeah, it's hard for people because I mean, wrestling's such like not a lot of people wrestle in comparison to like basketball or baseball and people playing all these different sports. But like, unless you've done it, like you don't know that it's the hardest sport in the world. Like more so than boxing, more so than mixed martial arts. I've done them all, but nothing compares to like the exhaustion that you get through.
Yeah, the exhaustion is the exact what you're talking about, the endurance aspect. That's exactly what it is. And that's what I want to do so I want to wrestle through 2028, and then I want to transfer to MMA. So that's what I'm going to do.
Awesome. Have you thrown on the gloves yet? Have you got a taste for any like kickboxing or boxing yet?
I've done boxing, not kickboxing, but it just comes so natural for me, just because my wingspan's so long. I mean, I have close to an 80-inch wingspan, and I'm 6 foot, so it just comes very natural.
I know. I mean, granted, I'm definitely not as tall. I'm only like 5'7", but I have like an insane wingspan, but like similar to you, like, well, definitely not similar to you, but like I was in high school, like I was powerlifting heavy. So
were you really?
We can talk about that. I actually have, I don't know, I have some world records on the wall actually, because I was like in the 114 weight class. I was pulling over 300 pounds. So
wow, that's insane, bro. That's beast. See, people don't.
Have you competed powerlifting?
I haven't, no, but people don't understand. Like that's why I like lifting, just like you too, is because of the challenge. You know, I just love Like I'll just sit next to like 600 pounds and just picture like me wrestling somebody, like me about to rep this out. And I'm just like, take this dude out, just rep this freaking dude out. And I just put headphones on, listen to hardcore music and just get amped. I listen to hardcore rap, I listen to Moneybagg Yo, or listen to like some type of heavy metal, something to get going. But yeah, I mean, but going back to what we were saying though, so basically, so long story short, we keep grinding. And I have 2 younger brothers too, right?
No, I did not. Yeah, you said you're one of 5, so you're the middle child?
I'm the oldest boy. I'm the oldest boy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a lot of
So we got a lot of Ferraris coming up.
a lot of Ferraris coming up, and I'm the leader in the boys. But anyway, long story short though, so I finished high school. I was number 1 recruit in the country, and my brother right now, they're both number 1 in the country for their weights.
Awesome.
So they're some of the top wrestlers in the country as well, and they're gonna be going to OSU on 4 rides too for wrestling.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we're going back. We didn't really talk about it, but the NCAA finals.
Right.
Yeah. So
NCAA finals. Right. So I was telling you, we were talking about my coach, John Smith.
Yep.
But we're in the back where there's the curtains before you walk out, like the tunnel. They do like the fire and everything. It's awesome. And I'm sitting down. I'm thinking. I'm just like, man, there's nowhere I'd rather be than right here. This is Saturday night. I'm watching. Supposedly, there's like 5 million people watching online because of COVID. There's only like 5 to 10,000 people there supposedly because of COVID.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, there's nowhere I'd rather be. These are the moments that I dream about. They really are. Like every single night, I think about this stuff. Just because of the sacrifices I made. I missed out on so much in college. I mean, my freshman year, I barely went to any parties. I barely went to anything. I just made so many sacrifices. And like, it's like, this is where you show that. This is where you show all of the work that's been done behind the scenes. And like, I always pray before my matches. And I pray to God. I don't pray for him for victory or for losing. I don't pray for either. All I do is I pray for him to show all of the work that I've done behind the scenes. So I pray to God and I'll close my eyes. I'm like, man, God, just allow all the hard work that I've done behind the scenes that nobody's been able to see. Me working in the dark. Just allow that to show. And whenever that shows, I win. Just because I've done so much. So it's like I tell people that don't focus on winning so much. Focus on competing. You know what I mean? Focus on performing. People are like, you got to win, you got to win, you got to win. Then you get so caught up in the moment. Instead, focus on what do I need to do to execute. For me, it's use my length, use my wingspan, circle, use my speed, use my quickness, make them react, make them think what I'm doing, mess with his head, that's my game plan. And I stick to my game plan, and I did it. I went out there and ran out of that tunnel, and it was a crazy moment. Everybody was like wondering what my celebration was going to be because the semis did the whole fake headgear throw into the flex for the whole crowd. It was like, I did that. So that was pretty good. But no, man, I just did a little flex for the camera and then ran over to my family and just was very emotional. I get back. So it continues. We get the pictures, we get the podium pictures. So we do everything right. And I get back to the hotel. I'm like, I got thousands of DMs from people. I gained 24,000 followers.
I saw that. That was insane.
Yeah.
Quick Instagram come up.
Yeah. So all my friends are like, all my buddies are like, yo, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go have a great time, get drunk? You're gonna go get with a bunch of girls? Like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, nah, bro. I was like, just leave me alone for a little bit. So they keep on banging on my door, like asking me. And I went back in my room and I just got so emotional. It was just like, wow, like I did this, like I did this, like through everything, through all the doubt, through like, and like, it's crazy. Cause like doing it at my age at such a hard weight, it's just like, I mean, you gotta remember, like, it's one thing. I'm wrestling grown men. I'm 19 years old wrestling grown men. And like, I just did it. And I just called my dad and my family and we just hung out. We just talked and I just thanked them for how much they did for me. And I mean, it's just insane. And now I get to come back next year. And the crazy thing is that I won this year's NCAAs pretty much on mental toughness and on a lot of it on, just perseverance. This next year, I can get a lot better. I have a lot of things I can work on. I have a lot of things I can improve on, technically speaking, wrestling.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too, because you're only 19 years old. You've got so much time. And then you're already competing at the Olympic trials, like NCAA champ. Like there's so much more room for growth. Like, and that's what excites me about like watching your career just pretty much start. So it's super exciting. And then
Yeah, it's just
I gotta say something too. I hate the NCAA more than most people just to see like their corruption, and they absolutely like they disrespected you in like the worst way ever. I'll go on saying that because when they post that Instagram post about you that you're out of gas, that pissed me off more than like anything that
Well,
happened.
it's complete bullshit, bro. I have the biggest gas tank. What are they talking about, bro? It's complete BS.
I know because like
I'm a Ferrari, man. I can go forever. What are you talking about?
high octane gas too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, but that's like for the NCAA to say some shit like that, and then someone like you too, like you got such a great personality, you're so well spoken, like you got the Italian genes, like you're built like you could be making so much freaking money off deal like Instagram deals off your own name, and it's just bullshit that you can't even do that right now
Oh,
too.
exactly. Oh, you're 100% right. I'd be making a killing. I've had people offer me close to 25,000 already
Yeah.
just
Oh my.
for just for small stuff. Yeah, it's a bunch of BS. They're selfish, man. They don't care about the athletes. But
Absolutely not.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
just they just want all the money. That's what it is. They want all the money.
I know.
But that should be changing here pretty soon, within a couple months.
Hopefully.
That should be changing. Hopefully, it would be nice. Yeah, but anyway, though, that was it. But so right after that, we get back right to Oklahoma State. We're back in Stillwater, and we have a quick turnaround. I mean, I tried for the Olympics 2 weeks later because winning NCAA qualifies you. So it's like, man, what the heck? I have to either cut down another 15 pounds, or I have
What do
to
you
bump
walk
up.
around at, if you don't mind me asking?
I walk around at like, it just depends on my lifestyle. So it depends on really how much I'm eating and my diet. But normally about 220,
All right.
somewhere around there. So I'm naturally a big guy, explosive, like, so and I love working out. I'm obsessed with it. It's just like, it's part of who I am. It's a part of the Italian culture. I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
Italians like working out. We just love like lifting heavy weights, just getting in there and just getting after it.
I know, dude. For
Yeah.
sure. I box every single day. That's my
Do
thing.
you really? That's
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
After
That's such a good workout too.
I know, because like even people say like, oh, don't you want to go to the gym? Like after like powerlifting, like I have herniated discs in my back. I got all sorts of messed up from that.
Yeah,
But
be careful with that stuff, man.
yeah, I know. Well, a little too late. But yeah, so like then I like started boxing. I've been like on and off for like 5, 6 years boxing. So that's like a whole nother thing. And I love doing that.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, getting back to what I was saying though, so I had 2 weeks, right? So I had 2 weeks and I was wrestling 197 the whole year. So so for the NCAA, it's a 3-day tournament. So it's 197, 198, 199. After you weigh in the morning, you wrestle later that day. So I was gonna wrestle Olympic trials, and I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like cutting weight. It's been a long year. I'm gonna go up. So I went up, and the weight class was 213.9. So
That's a big
I
jump.
tried. I got on creatine. I was trying to gain as much weight as possible, right? And so we go to this tournament, and I end up weighing in a kilogram under. And these dudes are cutting from like 230, bro.
Yeah.
And these are like not only like grown men, like 24-year-old grown men that I'm wrestling in college, but 27-year-old grown men. Like these are freaking big dudes.
Yeah,
So
and for people, some people that aren't listening, like it's a different type of wrestling when you wrestle
that's true.
college.
That's true.
College is folk style, and then when you compete at the Olympics, it's freestyle. So it's a completely different type of wrestling, and like me
Different rules and
personally,
everything.
yeah, different rules. I hate wrestling freestyle. I was always the top guy, so I'd get taken down, wait till the second round, and my coach would tell me to get on top and and go to work
You
then.
try
But
to
yeah,
turn him or pin him. You try to turn him or pin him. Is that what you used to do?
I was a big leg rider, and
Oh,
yeah,
those
I was
spots.
kind of known in the area for leg splits. So I would
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, so that was my thing. I would just get on top and
Dang,
leg split.
that's like serious punishment. I hate that's like painful. If you get caught in
Yeah.
that,
Oh no, yeah, oh yeah. Uh, yeah,
wow.
so that was kind of my thing because I had like really long arms too. So it was like
Yeah.
throw a short boot in and then hit him with the guillotine too. And
Yeah. That's hilarious, bro. That's
it's
hilarious.
funny. I mean, I wasn't like I'm not gonna say like I was any great wrestler or anything, but it
No, I
was
know what you mean, but you can still wrestle a little bit. You know the basics of the sport. That's good that you
yeah.
know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up actually coaching at my high school for a couple of years too, which is a
Is
freaking
you really?
blast. Yeah.
Where you at right now?
Yeah, so I'm like north of Niagara Falls, New York. So
Okay.
Buffalo, Niagara Falls area.
Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we got a shout out to Andrew Shomers. It's a mutual friend of ours. So
Nice. Shout out. Yep.
yeah,
He's cool, dude.
yeah, Shomers is great.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So you're at the trials. You're wrestling these grown men freestyle, and then so what's like the first match going into that like?
I mean, it was like going out there, not as much, everything to gain, nothing to lose, you know. So
Mhm.
I wrestled very open. I wrestled okay, but I mean, I've been dealing with a couple injuries the whole year, so I wasn't really even really sure I was going to go. So I ended up getting a little banged up. I mean, I've got really, really bad turf toe right now, like really, really bad. So I'm having to recover from that. So, but it was a fun tournament. You know, I wrestled Mike Machiavello.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I lost to him. That was a very close match, kind of a controversial. Both the matches were kind of controversial, to be honest.
I saw the one you posted on Instagram, and I gotta say, I think I had that scored 4-0 too. But what the hell do
Yeah,
I what the hell do I know?
I mean, a lot of people were saying that. Trust me. So
I know,
it,
man.
it was kind of annoying me, especially the fact that I wrestled with turf toe after I could barely walk and I finished the match.
Mm-hmm.
And it just annoyed me. I would have liked to get a win under my belt, especially in front of my. Remember, I'm from Texas, from that area,
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
so that would have been nice. But friggin' refs had to hold me though. So
And what are you gonna do? I think that's still like a great experience because I mean, 4 years from now, you're gonna be not only like still one of the younger guys there, but maybe three NCAA championships under your belt, coming in ready to
right,
maybe a couple world titles if we don't know.
100%, yeah. And for me, you got to remember, dude. I just like you said, I'm gonna my 2024 year. I'm gonna do an Olympic red shirt and solely focus on freestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll make a big difference. You know, you could watch the match. I was trying to get a push out. My timing was a little bit off just because I hadn't wrestled that style. I'd only wrestled that style for about a
Yeah,
week.
and then the guys too coming in, that's all they'd been doing for 4 years. They've just been training
Exactly.
freestyle, freestyle,
Right.
freestyle. When they started training, you're still out there in high school winning state
Right.
champion.
Right. It's kind of crazy, right? But but yeah, I'm gonna catch those dudes. You know, I'm gonna do it. My ultimate goal is the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. So that's definitely mine. That's
Let's
I'm gonna
go,
definitely
man.
win that. And the 2024 is that where is that? Is that London? I think.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure, but the 2024 Olympics, both of those two. So those are mine. You're see another person whenever I wrestle in those. I mean, you got to remember whenever you focus on style, like it's just so much different into the wrestling. You know, that's involved, like the techniques involved, the timing, the
Mm-hmm.
scoring, everything is different.
Yeah, even the
So
mats are different too, right?
the mats are different too. Yeah, it's true. So
Yeah, maybe, and then by that time too, maybe 700-pound deadlift instead of the 660.
yeah, I actually believe it or not, I actually did that 665-pound deadlift at the end of the day after wrestling practice.
Holy
If,
shit, man!
if you believe that, yeah. My I think I could hit 700 probably in a month or two. If I go heavyweight and I bulked up, I could definitely hit it. It's not just like I said, we just have such good genetics for lifting because my long arms are so long. I got
I
the
know,
long
dude.
arms.
I got monkey arms too. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's just because we're so close to the equator, you know, because that's why we're so tan and so long,
Mm-hmm.
our genetics. But
I know it's nice for boxing. I get to keep a nice long jab, stay out of the
well, that's why
outside.
there's so many good boxers too that are Italian.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention that we're just hard headed and just tough individuals, you know, like
Yeah.
Rocky, you know.
For sure, man. Yeah, another question I had. So, do you see a heavyweight NCAA run in the future, or?
Oh, 100%. I'm not sure if it's going to be this next year now because of just the magnitude of my injury, the fact that I have to recover and take some time
Yeah,
off. But I'm not sure yet, so we'll see. It's only a matter of time. You know, I've been messing around with playing football a little bit.
yeah.
I ran a 4.640 at 222 pounds.
Jesus, man.
So yeah, I can move. I'm explosive. So whenever you dedicate yourself to the weight room, it makes you explosive and very powerful. You know.
That's the one skill I wish more kids like coming up would focus on is the explosiveness, because that I think that one thing helps with so much more. So like everything, just explosiveness, whether it's just heavy squats, box jumps, because everyone's so concerned about like their bench and their deadlift, but like
Well, yeah, they're focused on their bench and their deadlift, but how many times do you bench press in wrestling? Think about it.
exactly,
You know
you
what I
got to get
mean?
up, you got to squat.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what are some of the things? I mean, before we wrap it up, what are some of the what are some tips for success that you would give maybe give like your brothers or people coming up like and whether it's like athletics or business or social media or whatever career paths they choose. What are some like overall like keys to success, you think?
You know, I would honestly say this, you know, be you. That's what I tell people, you know, because like people see me and they're like, oh, they must have this big persona on Instagram, right? And they don't realize if you meet me, that's who I am. You know, I'm this crazy fun person that doesn't really give a shit what people think, to be honest. I live my life because of the way that I was raised and because of the way that God tells me to live my life. So just very old school. And another thing I tell people too is don't believe all the bullshit that people push down your throats. There's a lot of BS on the internet out there in the media. Do your thing because if it's what you want to do. Pursue your goals because it's what you want to do. I could have, people ask me this all the time. They're like, why don't you play football? I'm so athletic. I could have made a lot more money than that if I would have done it earlier in my age, just because I have a great frame for linebacker. I have that long wingspan. I have super, super good lateral movement. I have very, very good short steps in wrestling and in football whenever I used to play. But for me, it's like, I'm not doing something just because of the money. My passion is wrestling and fighting. I love it. There's nothing I'd rather be doing than that. So yeah, that's what I just tell people is just to pursue your goals and listen to your parents for advice for sure. That's a good one. Cause like my parents, they're the reason I am where I am. There's a saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. My parents took my head and they pushed in the water. They made me drink, so I didn't really have much of a choice. And I'm so grateful for them every day, just making me into the individual I am today, the person I am today too. So yeah, it's just a combination of that, combination of your faith in God, a combination in your faith in your hard work and proper preparation, so a lot of people have they're either missing one thing, they're either missing the preparation, they have the confidence, but then they don't prepare right. They're lazy behind the scenes. Or there's the people who have the preparation, have the willingness to win, but they don't have the faith. I see that all the time. I see people who work super, super hard. They get to the match, these big matches, and they just crumble.
Yeah.
It's like, I just don't get it. I mean, me personally, it's like, this is everything I worked for, So, and I help some of my teammates. Some guys get nervous for really, really nervous for matches and they can't compete at a high level. But I get nervous too, but it's more of a good nervousness. It's like a tingling. It's like, there's something at stake here, man. There's something serious.
Yeah, that's like when people say, "Oh, I'm nervous." I was like, that means it means something to you, and that's good. Like it's a good thing.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, my dad always tells me it's like fear can be a fire, and it can either consume you or you can use it. So like if you use fear and you get too fearful, you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? But if you use fear to the fact of, man, I better be working my ass off today because there's someone out there right now working their ass off, that's the benefit. And for me, it's like, I get pissed off all the time just because like I have such high testosterone. Like naturally, I'm just like a crazy person. Like right now, not being able to work out, I've been freaking punching holes in the wall. Like I'm just going crazy right now. Like it's nuts, bro. But yeah, I use my God-given talents to the best of my ability, to show off my craft. And in that manner, I get to publicize, what I stand for. So it's a great platform. That's why I love wrestling. It's a great platform to really show off, your talent and your hard work, and what you stand for.
Awesome. Well, I'm absolutely blown away, man. So impressed. I can't wait to see your career coming up. Can't wait to see the next wrestling seasons and what you got in the future, man. And I can't thank you enough for coming on and talking to me.
Yeah, it's good to see another Paisan,
Absolutely, man.
For a good 30 minutes, bro. It was good. It was good hanging out with you, bro.
Well, maybe one day we could we could compete in something. I think maybe a bocce ball tournament where I could be a little bit more competitive. I don't know if
that'd be pretty fun. That'd be good.
I don't know if for wrestling anytime soon. I'd be.
If you're ever in Stillwater, Oklahoma, bro, hit me up. And if I'm ever in, you said Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, dude, I'm everywhere. I'm Buffalo, Florida, New York. I move around.
Okay. I'll hit you up if I'm ever in New York. I go out there a little bit sometimes to train at the New York Athletic Club.
Awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you know
in the future, man. For sure. Yeah. Thank you for everybody. Where can everybody follow you? And that.
Mr. Fast Twitch
on Instagram.
Yeah, Mr. Fast Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube channel, AJ Ferrari. So they could just see me. I work hard and I play hard. You guys have seen me put out some funny content too. So I like to try to have a good time too. So it's great, and a lot of Italian stuff too. Maybe some meals that my mom makes. I'm about to eat them here.
Maybe we'll get an AJ Ferrari cooking show in the future.
Yeah, it'd be funny.
Awesome. Well, I can't thank you enough for coming on, man. Everybody else, go follow AJ everywhere, Instagram, Twitter, whatnot, and we'll see you in the next episode. Ciao.
Yep.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of The Sit Down, guys. Just remember to go to virtuosboxing.com, get your gear. I had just picked up a pair from the Vesuvio collection, and I gotta say, these are the best shoes I've ever worn working out. I go to boxing every day to get my workout in, and I gotta say these beat any normal sneaker or wrestling shoe that I've ever worn. So super happy. So guys, go check out virtuousboxing.com and make sure you follow them on all their social medias.